When I came to the States, I was 15 years old. And I knew it was going to be really hard for me to come through, but I was just trying to get something better for myself. I didn't even let my family know that I was coming in case something bad would happen to me. I wish I never had the misfortune to go through what they have to go through. So I put myself in their shoes, and that's what keeps me going.
When you come across somebody with blisters on their mouth, their skin peeling, you can't not help people like that. I know there's people crossing the border illegally, but for me, those are the people that need it the most. So it's a cooperative effort, including the community, and they understand what it's like to not have water. You know, along that little ridge on the side, it's only going to be like 5 barrels out there.
Water Station's got a really good president now. It's got a good treasurer. It's got a secretary. It's got good field workers, and I'm still one of them. Laura's still one, but we've gone down in our participation, and the younger people are taking over the project.
This is my first year as president, and part of the reason why I accepted was because I said I would run it as a council. It's a good group of people and very diverse backgrounds, some engineering, some sciences, some entrepreneurs, some educators. As varied as our opinions are, we all agree that this is the right thing to do for anyone who might need water. John and Laura, they're a mom and pop. We want to keep in the vision of what they had in mind, which is it's a humanitarian effort, nothing else.
Let's see, oh, here we go. Water Station is more of a passive solution where you put the water out and people come to it, which is great. You know, I created that. But this part of my career, I want to help a group that goes out and actively finds people. I'm more of like the pursuit-oriented kind of guy. And I think that this group called the Armadillos, those guys are the real deal.
Armadillos has been working about a little bit over 5 years. We came together to go to the Arizona desert and go search for our brothers and sisters in need. We get reports from families through Facebook. They say, my father went to the States and it's been about 15 days that we don't know anything about him. Once we get the phone number from these people, we will call them and they will let us know where their family members were coming through. Let's say they would say, we know that they got to Altar, Sonora, and then they went through Sasabe. In that case, we kind of know, or they should be coming through. Many times they don't make it, so they die, so we have to go out there and search for them.
El grupo encontró los restos de una persona que tenía 10 años de haber fallecido. La información de este otro cuerpo que está aquí. Él dice que está en el Cerro de la Muela.
Once we find a dead person, we have GPSs, so we would take coordinates, and once we get out, we call the medical examiner, or we will call Border Patrol. All that we have been doing up to this date, it's free for the people that we're helping. Every time we go out for a search, we spend between $1,500 and $1,200. It's really hard for us to decide not to go out there and search for them because we know that there is kids that are suffering, and we just try to do as much as we can for them.
Gracias te damos, Dios, en esta mañana por habernos permitido, Señor, en esta mañana amanecer con vida, y durante el transcurso del camino nos permitiste llegar con bien, ya que guardaste todas las partes de nuestros vehículos, Señor.
Most of my life I lived in Mexico City. When I got out of high school, I was pretty sure that I was going to keep on going to school. But then I got a letter saying, you know what, thank you, but you were not selected. So I felt really depressed. And then I went, you know what, I'm going to States. It's hard but for us as undocumented people, but I mean, we're making it.
Anybody who understands the constructs of poverty, the people who migrate are usually the poorest of the poor. 90% of all people who cross the US-Mexico border are coming for their job. And then we also have a very large and growing population of asylum seekers. To make that decision to leave, that means that your circumstances at home are pretty desperate. Kids do not leave their homes and travel over 1,000 miles to get to somewhere. That means that the homeland is on fire and there's no way for them to stay. Many people are coming from that region of the world mostly because of violence. El Salvador had suffered a civil war not too long ago. The country is regaining its strength only by about 20-25 years. This is a country that's just giving birth to itself. And in those cases, usually the groups that fill the cracks are gangs. Gangs, for the most part, do their negotiations through violence. But here's the conundrum. The tighter we tighten the screws at the border, the more border guards that we put there, the more organized the crime becomes south of the border.
The asylum system is being abused to the detriment of the rule of law, sound public policy, public safety even, and to the detriment of people with just claims to asylum.
You're not stopping the cause of migration. You're just blocking the migrants from coming. And desperate people will take desperate measures. That's all that's happening.
My brothers and my sisters, they have experienced the same thing about coming undocumented to this country. But they made it, thinking about their kids being left without their father. It's really, really hard. I really cannot imagine what all these people have to go through.
Armadillos Search and Rescue. We found the remains from a brother or sister migrant. You can see the jaw right here.
Most of them know what they have to go through, but even though they might die, they are willing to risk their own life just to give all their families a chance to have a better life.
Pues el día de hoy encontramos esta osamenta. En verdad, no podemos afirmar que pertenece a la misma persona que está en la credencial.
People who cross the desert are the ones that have no options. To have to leave your family behind to search for a better life elsewhere, that in itself is monumental. It's something that no one should have to suffer.
I don't think you need to be Republican or Democrat or vote for a particular candidate to understand that people are suffering. Americans do that. We do help the suffering, but the fact that people are dying needlessly kind of pulls them all together. And those are the same kinds of people I think that have helped out in the desert.